Good morning once again, students. This is Marnie M. Kuyag, ang Teacher M ng Mactan. For today's video, I am going to continue my discussion on Module 1, Lesson 1 of Mathematics 9. But before I proceed, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification button para updated kayo sa mga susunod kong videos. So today, Lesson 2.2 of Module 1 talks about describing the relationship between the coefficients and the roots of a quadratic equation. Let us first recall the topic on identifying the roots given a quadratic equation. What are the roots of x squared plus 5x plus 6 equals 0? Our given quadratic equation is x squared plus 5x plus 6 is equal to 0. We have four methods in identifying the roots of a quadratic equation. The following are using extracting square root, factoring, completing the square, and by using the quadratic formula. In this example, let us try to use factoring. First step is to make two sets of parentheses, then equate it to 0. Afterwards, you identify the constant term of the equation, and the constant term is 6. Then try to find two factors of 6 in which if you are going to add the two factors, it should be equal to the linear term or the value of b, which is 5. And the factors of 6 are 3 and 2. To check whether our factors is correct, then we are going to add 3 plus 2 is 5. And 3 times 2 is 6. So since it is the same with the linear term and the constant, so our factors are correct. Then let's proceed to the next step. We are going to separate the two factors by using the zero product property. Then afterwards, we are going to transpose 3 to the right side. Kay nilabang man siya sa right side or nilabang man siya sa equal sign, positive 3 becomes negative 3. And this positive 2, ni-transpose siya, then positive 2 becomes negative 2. Therefore, the roots of x squared plus 5x plus 6 equals 0 are negative 3 and negative 2. Now, let us try to add the factors. The sum of roots or the sum of factors negative 3 and negative 2, since the same sign sila, so we are going to add, that is negative 5. And the product of roots, we will multiply negative 3 and negative 2, that is 6. In multiplying same sign, the answer is positive. So the product of roots is positive 6. So today, I am going to show to you the shorter way in identifying the sum and the product of roots using these two formulas. The formula in identifying the sum of roots is x sub 1 or the first root plus x sub 2 or the second root is equal to negative b over a. And the formula in identifying the product of roots is x sub 1 multiplied by x sub 2. The formula is c over a. For example, identify the sum and product of roots given the following equations. Number 1, x squared plus 5x plus 6 is equal to 0. Of course, our first step is to identify the values of a, b, and c. And the value of our a is located beside the quadratic term, and the value of a is invisible, that is 1. The value of b is the numerical coefficient of the linear term, 5. And the value of c is the constant term, 6. Then, let us now start identifying the sum of roots, and its formula is negative b over a. Then afterwards, we are going to substitute, copy negative, and the value of b is 5. The value of a is 1. Then simplify. Negative 5 divided by 1 is negative 5. So the sum of roots is negative 5. Then let us proceed to the product of roots. The formula is c over a. Substitute. The value of c is 6. The value of a again is 1. Divide it, then it is equal to 6. Therefore, the product of roots is 6. Now, try to observe the linear term 5x to the sum of the roots, and the constant term 6 to the product of the roots. Yes, you are right. They are just equal, but the sum of the roots, the answer is its opposite sign. So, since the linear term of our equation is 5x, then the sum of the root is negative 5. But if the linear term is negative 5x, then the sum of the roots is positive 5. Now let us proceed to our other example, which is related to this example. Second example, x squared plus 7x plus 10 is equal to 0. Again, identify the values of a, b, and c. The value of a is 1, the value of b is 7, and the value of c is 10. Now let us try to identify the sum of roots. As I've said earlier, the sum of roots, we are going to base it sa linear term or the value of b, na ang opposite sign sa value ni b. Ang opposite sign ni positive 7 is negative 7. So the sum of roots is negative 7. Then the product of roots, magbase ta niya sa value ni c, and the value of c is 10. Therefore, the product of roots is 10. But this method is not true to all. We can just use this if the value of a is 1. So magamit rin na tong shortcut if ang value sa a kay 1. But if the value of a is not 1, then we need to follow the formula. Here's the example. The third example is 2x squared minus x plus 5 is equal to 0. Identifying the values of a is 2, the value of b is negative 1, and the value of c is 5. As what you had noticed, the value of a is 2. It is no longer 1. So if the value of a is not equal to 1, then we are going to use the formula in identifying the sum of roots, which is negative b over a. Then let us substitute. Copy negative. Automatic na si negative sa formula. Then the value over b is negative 1, another negative. Then the value over a is 2. Then simplify. Negative multiplied by negative is positive. 1/2 is already in simplified form, so the sum of roots is 1/2. Next, the product of roots, and the formula is C over A. Substitute. The value of C is 5 and the value of A is 2. And since 5 over 2 is already in simplified form, therefore the product of roots is 5 over 2. Now, let's do the reverse. Instead of identifying the roots given a quadratic equation, this time we will write a quadratic equation given the roots. So kung ganina, given ang equation, you are going to identify the roots or the factors. This time, given the roots or given the values of x, you are going to write the quadratic equation. In doing this, we have two methods to follow. Namely, first method, using the sum and the product of the roots. Second, using the reverse of zero product property. Now, let us first learn using the sum and the product of the roots. So it is stated there already that the given roots are -8 and 3. So now let us try to add the two roots, -8 plus 3. Now, according to the law of addition and subtraction of integers, if the signs of the two terms are different, then we are going to subtract. Sa Bisaya pa, kung dili pareha og sign, then we are going to subtract. 8 minus 3 is 5. And we are going to copy the sign of the bigger number, and the bigger number is 8, and its sign is negative. Therefore, the sum of roots is -5. Then the products of roots. We are going to multiply the two roots -8 and 3. In multiplying terms with different sign, then the answer is negative. -8 plus times 3 is -24. Therefore, the product of roots is -24. Therefore, the quadratic equation whose roots are -8 and 3 is x squared plus 5x minus 24 equals 0. X squared, the quadratic term here is automatic. The linear term is from the sum of roots, but its opposite sign. And the constant term is the product of roots. Now, let us proceed to the second method using the reverse of zero product property. The first root given is -8 and the second root is 3. Then we are going to transpose the number to the left side. So since nilabang siya sa equal sign, si negative mahimong positive. As well as this side, transpose +3 becomes -3. Then, we are going to combine the two factors in which usara ang ilahang equal to 0. And we are going to use the FOIL method in rewriting the equation in standard form. FOIL as in FOIL, in which F stands for the first terms. And the first terms are x and x. X times x is x squared. O, for outer terms, isig kilid nga mga terms. That is x and -3. And x times -3 is -3x. Next, I for FOIL. I is inner terms. And the inner terms, naa sa tunga, 8 and 3. 8 times 3 is 8x. And the last terms are 8 times -3 is -24. But in this equation, we can see similar terms or like terms or terms having the same variable. and that is negative 3x plus 8x. If naagani similar terms, we need to simplify it. So negative 3 plus 8, different sign again, then we are going to subtract. 3 minus 8, that is 5. Copy the sign of the bigger numbers, so it is positive. So the answer is x squared, katong answer nga 5x, positive 5. Copy minus 24 equals 0. So that would be all for today. I hope you learned something from this video. If you do, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification button. Thank you and have a great day.